I'd like to call this meeting of the Southern Berkshire Regional School District to order. This is committee meeting number 1699 at 7:06 p.m. Review of school committee norms and beliefs. We're going to take a pause, folks, and just remember what the norms and beliefs were that we approved just about a year ago. That we're representing the needs and interests of all our students in the districts and the towns we represent. We're prioritizing their well-being and success in every decision. There are multiple points here: how we govern, how we treat each other, how we communicate in our collective agreement. And I'm not reading through everything, especially this evening. We have a quote on the agenda for our regular meeting. We strive to build a culture of kindness where all members of our school committee feel safe, and one that reflects the values of the Southern Berkshire Regional School District. Between that statement and our norms and beliefs, that's how I hope we are able to interact with each other, conduct our business, and go forward. Again, what's happened has happened, water under the bridge. I just want us moving forward in the best interest of our kids, our school district, the staff, the families, everybody that's involved here. So without further ado, but we'll revisit this on a regular basis, just so that we can remember how we want to behave, how we want to help hold each other accountable. So if you see something and you want to say something, we're all human beings. Nobody's perfect. We all have tempers. We all get upset. But we can try to be our best. And that's all I'm going to ask of us, is that we just try to be our best to each other. So moving on in this agenda. Standing reports. We do not have minutes from any previous meeting, and I don't believe, and there is no correspondence. So we're not doing that. With the public hearing, I don't think we have student representative or student spotlights tonight. We do not have that. We do have in time for public comment. We've had a lot this evening, but I will recognize public who are still with us. I don't know if after everything there's anything else that someone would like to say, but they're welcome to approach the podium.
Hi there, Amy Murray again, 95 Salisbury Road. One of the things that I have advocated for in front of many school committee boards is that the public comments for these meetings are always at the front of the agenda. So as we sit and we're going to listen to many things that are being presented, tonight specifically about the budget, questions are going to come up and there's no other place for us to ask them. And I equate this to, as a teacher in this district, I would introduce the topic of today I'm teaching fractions, but you need to ask all your questions before I start teaching, because once I start teaching, they won't be open anymore to questions. So I would just advocate that, especially during this very tricky financial time that we're in, that it be considered for the meetings around the budget area, that another opportunity for public comments are put into the agendas so that when you discuss things, as questions come up, people who are sitting here trying to be involved have the opportunity by asking them further on as well in the agenda item. Related to that, I find it hard that the school committee passed, I don't know if it's called a policy, that people who are attending online cannot comment and that they have to come in person. It's one of the things that up until recently, unless things have changed, you're not requiring of your own members. So your own members still have the ability to comment and sometimes even vote, but the people who are trying to be active and involved, sometimes they can't always be here. Could be childcare, could be weather, could be health. So you're able for some of your members to attend, vote, and still comment, but you are requiring people to come in person. I have a hard time with that, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, considering I lead by example, and I just wish that you would reconsider that. Again, especially given the tricky financial situation that we're in, people at home are going to have questions. And in some regard, I don't think it's fair that they have to be here when you're not requiring that of yourselves. So those are two issues that I would just like that you would at least consider or keep in mind in terms of a fairness as we're moving forward. I did speak at the open hearing, but I'm just going to reiterate that I think that there are some financial difficulties with the upcoming budget and with the current budget, and I think that things need to be a little bit more transparent, looking for a line item budget that people can look at, and hopefully looking again at an audit moving forward to figure out where the difficulties came from. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. So a couple of things there. I think given the light of that, some of these we will have to, the policy about speaking via Zoom, we have suspended that in the past as needed. The policy committee will probably be meeting again soon. We can take that up. We can consider that again. But one thing I think we can do right now, if the board is willing, I would entertain a motion for tonight's meeting and perhaps moving forward that we add a public comment, a second public comment. Let people say if they have something to say at the beginning, they can tell us, or we could add it at the end. If there's a motion that if folks are interested in that.
So let me just say, we are not supposed to respond to public comment.
I think it's the chair's prerogative, and I'm not, I can say I'm
It's
not
over.
responding, but I'm asking to see if we would like to do that tonight. If not, I will set it up for the next meeting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello.
I
said
I was
I
moved.
move to add for tonight only, a chance for people who are, in the meeting on Zoom, to speak as well, if it is later in the meeting.
Okay, I think Kim said
Kim
so
did it
moved.
already,
She moved
right.
that motion. Will you second
Okay,
that,
second
Nancy?
then.
For the second
Second.
public comment.
For a second public comment, at least for tonight, and we can discuss it later, but I think for tonight, it's okay to do that.
Second,
Comment on that.
Comment, yes.
This came up in a similar fashion a number of years ago while I was chair. We instituted on an ongoing basis that we would have, for exactly the reasons outlined, we would have 2 public comment periods because things come up during the course of the meeting. So it would not be any time during the course of the meeting, but at the end, opening up for public comment again.
Okay.
If that's what your motion, Kim, was.
Well, I was asking for a motion to add it at the end of the meeting. It would be
At the end.
before executive session, which
Right,
we're not gonna have
right.
tonight
It was-
anyway, but.
So
Or-
that's why I said so moved. I don't think it's a bad idea, because I think
Mhm.
she's right, because there's a lot of things that go on in these meetings
Right.
that may create questions for other people
Okay.
at the end.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any harm in it. What's
Mhm.
what's 3 minutes per person
Yeah.
at the
you
end of
guys
the
can
meeting?
see the
Right.
timeframe.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Are there any other comments from the school committee on that? Okay, then we have a motion made by Kim and seconded by Nancy that we'll add a public comment tonight. That would become number 16 on the agenda. Roll call vote. Nancy,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Art,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes?
Miguel.
Yes.
Hello, by the way. You can say hello. Amy.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Carl.
I just want to clarify, we're only considering this change for tonight.
Well, I may consider it as chair, and I'll talk with the superintendent when we devise the agenda in the future.
Right,
But
this
this motion is for
is
tonight.
limited to tonight.
This motion is for
Then
tonight.
it's yes.
It's yes. Okay, and Julie is yes. So we will take care of that. Some people hear things, they can comment at the end. Public comment. Tara.
Public comment, Sarah Sickett, Salisbury Road. My public comment is a thank you. The last 2 weeks, weather-wise, in our school have been unusual to say the least, and I just want to thank Dr. Ricka. As someone who owns farm animals and leaves early every morning no matter what, some of our travel and our roads have been not safe for school buses, let alone teen drivers. So although I know that it's been unusual at this point in March, it really has been difficult. I got stuck the week after break with 10 feet to go. So just a thank you for looking out for that. It's one thing as parents of new drivers that really concerns us, and I appreciate your due diligence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, you have a new driver?
Owen's driving?
Owen?
Not quite, but I'm.
Jay's not driving yet.
Is there any other public
Look out,
comments?
world.
Okay, then we'll continue on. Business manager report. I see we have a warrant in our packet. TJ.
He's not on.
He's not
he had
on
another
now,
meeting.
but,
We didn't scare him away, did we?
No, he had another meeting.
I
It
think, yeah.
started at 6:30.
yeah. I don't know if people have questions that we need TJ to answer, we need that. If there are not questions to answer, then we could approve this.
I move to approve the warrant.
Second.
Second.
Is this,
Julie, how is,
Yeah.
this gonna be
Julie,
the new
did
format?
we choose who was gonna, or did we vote on, I'm sorry, I'm a little preoccupied, did we vote on the number of, who was gonna be on the warrant committee?
We haven't got
So
to that
there's-
yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. I think so, because this is the format we've seen the last couple of times. It really breaks things out.
Okay.
Any other questions about that?
And our committee reviewed the warrant already.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yeah, a couple of us signed multiple things that Michelle had. Yes. Okay, so we have a motion by Carl to approve, seconded by Kim. Is there any other discussion? Roll call vote. Nancy?
Yes.
Yes. Kim?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Miguel?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Julie? Yes. So we have approved that warrant. Okay. Anything about accepting grants or gifts,
Nope.
transfers? Okay, no for either. Chairman's report. I think I've said enough and I've heard enough, so I don't think that there needs to be more, except that we're gonna try as a group to do better. That's all, we're gonna try to be our best, and that's where it is. And
Well, I wanna say of anybody, you probably had the hardest first 2 weeks of being chairman, and you have risen to the challenge.
Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate that. 2
It's
weeks, no,
true.
6 days, 7
Mhm.
days. It's not,
Seems like
it's
too
been
much.
tough. Anyway,
Yeah.
but thank you. I
No,
appreciate that.
I agree with Bonnie, Julie.
Thank you, Nancy.
I agree with Bonnie. I think that everybody, yeah, just saying, you deserve lots of credit for rolling.
Thank you. All right. Superintendent's report,
Budget.
budget, yeah, okay, yeah,
I would say the same for Sarah, and Sandy's not here tonight, but
yeah,
we've all been working on the budget.
agree, budget, yeah, okay. So, no serious reports there. New business. So, this is where we can reflect on what we have just heard from our public hearing. And so I open the floor to school committee members for discussion on what we heard and what we might want to do moving forward. Kim?
Are we having a discussion on what we heard tonight and finance, or what we heard just for tonight?
It's the FY27 budget in general. I mean, to me, it's an open discussion that might integrate any of those points.
Because I had a few questions on what I heard last night,
Okay?
moving forward to what we have here.
Yeah,
And
I think I wouldn't want to bother waiting till finance because it's sort of all rolled in
Okay.
together, and this is the main thing. Yeah.
so one of my questions and my takeaways from last night was certain budgets going up, increases, certain people getting raises, things in the past that haven't been funded as high, getting funded. And our option 2 has 12 or more staff being cut. So for me, as somebody who owns a business, that's not the way you run a business. You take care of what you got first, and then you look into the extras after you take it. So those are my concerns.
So it sounds like you're thinking of people first.
Yes, my
Yeah.
kids go here.
Of course, well, I understand, I just want to be clear.
Sorry,
I
I just, my kids
I
go
know.
here.
I
They
just
love
wanna-
their, I mean, when they saw that, because it got sent to everyone, including my children, you know, and I had to explain what that meant.
Yeah.
They're like, who's gonna get cut? Which one's gonna get cut? Which people? And that's not something a 15, a 16, and an 18-year-old needs to think about.
Right, no, I agree, yeah, no, you're right. And I know that we do have a few retirements coming, but that certainly is not all of this either. And so I think there'll be a lot
So
of,
my question is, why are those things happening in a budget when we are making other cuts elsewhere?
when we are or we're not.
We are.
I would say because the deficit is so large.
That is
But
correct.
I mean, you know, I think we're in a state of flux such that, you know, we're gonna have to pick a number next week, you know, we're gonna have to figure that out, and it might represent some cuts, but on the other hand, before, we still have, is it till April 30th, I think, to certify to the town, so we still could certify something lower than what we vote. But it would be coming back to school committee. I mean, I'm gonna talk about our calendar, because after Tuesday, we don't meet again until April 9th, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. So just because of all that's going on, that's
And
unrelated.
another thing I've been asking for since September was a roll forward.
Was it what?
A roll forward, which means you end your year, you have a certain amount you're starting with from your FY '26, what you spend all the way up to today. In pretty much every category, what you still have left on balances, things like that. We have never seen a roll forward.
Well, I don't
And
think they did from TMS either, right?
They were supposed to do it on the way out their door, and we got the 25 settled, and we were moving forward. We asked for it, but we have never gotten one, and we need that, because in order to have a foundation for 27, a solid one, you actually need to know where you are landing on 26. Because spending for 26 starts July 1st. So that is one of my major concerns, and besides the fact of all these buckets. We're a regional school district. There's a lot of things you cannot lump in a bucket because it affects funding and formulas. And I have a lot of concerns that things were lumped in buckets that they didn't belong in. So,
Okay, we can, yeah. Well, what I understand, I mean, I sat in one meeting with TMS and they showed us the chart of accounts. And it
You mean
didn't,
open architecture?
open architects, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
right.
open architects, and, you know, because I questioned some of the titles of what we saw
he's a
in our budget.
municipal.
Why were they there? And he's like, well, here's your chart of accounts. And I'm like,
But-
he's like, we can fix this, we can get this aligned. We can't do it before you have to vote a budget.
but that's my problem. You're giving us buckets. You're throwing things
Yeah.
into it. And you're saying, well, we can't do this before you have to vote on it. It's not.
No, I
Yeah.
understand. No, and I think we do need to request a line-by-line budget.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, you know, why our finance committee could not have started much earlier, looking at a line-by-line budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might have been messy, and there, you know, because of this transition, and
But-
it's like, but we can understand messy if, like, I think someone here
Yeah, but
tonight
messy
said.
is one thing, but when you don't know how much your offsets are going someplace, you don't know how things are being compensated for.
Well, there seems to be a lot of question marks around
Yeah.
that. There absolutely is. And that's the problem, and I can understand why people are calling for an audit.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any choice. We absolutely have to do that. That's one thing that I would say, you know.
But for this budget, we need more clarity on, and that can be bucket, grants, all this stuff, everything. Because you're asking everybody to vote with not knowing how much money this district is giving towards the buckets, how much money we're getting in from each of the things, what's going for what. And it's something you really can't vote on when you have no clarification in those areas. How much is it bringing it down? And those are my questions.
Yeah. Nancy?
I think, to Kim's point, I think maybe what we need to do is start to list what were not the missing line items, but list what information all of us feel is missing, so that we have a list to work from, right? Rather than just saying we need to have an XYZ list, right? But I think that that would be helpful, because then we're going to all be talking from the same place. Does that make sense, Kim? Okay.
Yes, because
And then the other
we
thing
have
is,
information we need.
yeah, and I think the other thing is, I think that my experience with last night in particular, but one of the issues that I've had with Open Architects is that they keep saying later, instead of listening. And I think now that now we need to really say we need to push them. But the other thing is I think that an audit was something that got discussed a few weeks ago. Needing an exit audit was something that got discussed a few weeks ago, and I'm glad to hear that's finally going to happen. I think that's great. But I think there's a lot. But I also want to really remind myself, as I listen to frustrations and all that. We talked last night, or you and Brian talked about last night, and certainly Brian a lot, saying, look, this is what we've got to work with, but we have until April 30th. Let's look at what works, let's look at what doesn't work, and then let's merge the two so that we have a more workable budget. I think that really, I think it probably sounds like really woo-woo and very Nancy, but I don't see any other way for everybody to work together without getting really pissed off, and I don't think that's going to help. That's my professional speech.
Amy?
I'm just curious, what would be a reasonable ask to, I suppose it would be Open Architects, in terms of getting something in the hands of the people that were here tonight, all of us, in terms of a more broken down line by line budget to take a peek at? Like, what's really reasonable?
Yeah, I just emailed them in between the meeting and said, please get us a FY25 line by line in the PDF and then FY25 year to date, or 26 year to date in the PDF.
And we can, send that out
Sure.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Or,
as soon as I get it.
So I think that will take a lot of frustrations and anxiety down, hopefully. And then, Nancy said, and like you said, Julia, we've heard line items, we've heard audit tonight. So for representing the lay people in the room right now, this is, like you said, something that we need to do. What would a reasonable timeline look like for that?
For an audit?
Yeah.
I am not sure.
The state usually comes in and does one every year.
Who does?
What about
The state.
What about a forensic?
Yeah, but if you
So-
want an independent.
It's
But
different.
an
It's a different
independent
audit.
one?
It's
One at a time.
Sorry. An independent one would be something that one of the towns has to request, and then they incur the cost. That's the way it's, from what I understand, that's always been
Okay,
done.
well, we'll have to investigate that and know Bonnie and then Nancy.
I spoke to Rhonda about it today,
Uh-huh.
off the record, and to get a sense of cost, timeline, and she also gave me a recommendation of a firm and a person where she feels they've had real success. Since ours would be more specific than, a general overall town one, I came away with the sense of maybe it could be done within a couple of months. But we're talking about if the school district is doing it, it would be coming out of our budget, not out of one of the towns. So we would have to build it into the budget. She said that their last one cost like 22,000+. I said, what? She said, yeah. But I don't think, she said her recommendation, and I didn't say anything because she asked, did you do anything? I said, no, I have to bring it to the school committee, is that if we decide to call, it's just a call first to find out all of the specifics, and they will also, she told me, help you define the parameters. because then we would want to come back and say, you know, to the full school committee, et cetera. But I felt good, except for the price. I felt good after speaking with her that we had, obviously, since it would be over $10,000, we'd have to go to multiple bidders, but at least I have a sense of direction now. So I think, does that answer at all, Amy, what you were asking?
Yes, I have follow-ups, but I'll wait.
Right.
Okay, before
So,
Tia, let me call on Nancy.
But can I
Yes,
speak
please
about my
finish.
issues?
Please finish.
For, I would say, Amy, I don't support the idea of sending it out to everyone. I really want that line by line, but all the years that we had it, I could look and say, why is the science department getting da-da-da? And Jesse or whomever would be able to say, the state curriculum has changed, and that's why we must do this. I think to put it out, you don't have the kind of explanation. And I happen to like, maybe that's the history person in me, I happen to like to look at the line by line and see, you learn a lot about what's going on in terms of curriculum, even the changes that go in terms of sports. I mean, the fact that our kids have to go halfway across the state and fortunately we're over with basketball season, but paying the amount that we'll be paying for gas and all. So I want to go back to that line by line. And I don't like this lumping. I totally agree. I can't learn anything, but I think we could look at some things and we should plan. I'm ready to say, we only send 2 people to MASC next year. Take the rest of that out of the budget. We can't afford it. But we maybe send 1. We look at low hanging fruit right away and see what we could get rid of. I mean, does everything, all of the linoleum, I don't know what's in that budget. But we were able to look and say, with the budget lines like that, we could say, well, could you get away with only doing 2 classrooms this year or only doing emergency repairs? So I think we need to look, Brian, at the low-hanging fruit.
So if the school committee is interested, I mean, I'm looking at the timeline, today's Thursday night, so we could have a school committee or a finance committee meeting Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning or sometime earlier in the day. Now, is that give enough time?
Well, it depends what we have.
But I'm just saying, I mean, I'm trying to think how to address it immediately for the school committee.
Well, I think.
Okay, we'll finish, then I gotta get to Nancy
Right.
and then.
I think I would go to Brian in terms of what he feels would be most beneficial to move us ahead the quickest.
To move you ahead the quickest, I will tell you, as I said last night, you are not going to find the kind of savings to close the gap. It's very kind of you to offer to send less people, and we can take the $7,000 out of the school committee budget. But when we're dealing with 6 figures,
I know.
The way that we will close that is, unfortunately, with people. Now, there's other ways around that. We have to have other conversations that involve larger issues that we can discuss at this table.
Right.
But the bottom, and somebody came to me today, a teacher came to me in the hall, and she said, you can zero out our supplies. We'll get exactly what we got last year. And I said, that's a wonderful gesture. Maybe that's going to save us.
I know.
So when you're talking 6 figures, you're talking human beings.
And that's why we're going to turn to you first and look and see, where do we go? And totally respecting what issues are that parents, we're dealing with the COVID children.
Sure.
And I have a nephew who's exactly like her son, same grade, same everything. That's where you know
Bonnie,
from
can
your
we-
staff what the issue is among those people.
Stay on task.
Okay, Let me go to Nancy
Sure,
now, just because she's
absolutely.
been waiting. All right, Nancy?
Thanks, Bonnie. I think where the conversation was initially was on audits, amongst other things, as well as the list. And I think that's something that we can go to MASC to as well, with Bonnie's information included. But I think they'll be able to help us help us set up, as Bonnie said, a good outline, if you will, and what, some of the
Okay.
pitfalls.
Good idea.
Good idea. Kim?
So another problem I have is we've had 3 glowing reports from Open Architect, not even hinting that we're an issue
point.
anyway, all the way up to January 31st. So from January 31st to March, all of a sudden, dire straits, all this other stuff, everything's bad. My question is, that's not really a question. TJ is a municipality person. Way he views budgets, way he lumps things, way he does everything, that is how a city does it. A one single town. And I have a feeling a lot of the formulas, because some of the things I heard he said can't be done in a regional school district with funding. So,
For example,
well, you can't
think
lump
of-
your sped transportation in with,
Oh, okay. I thought I was looking for a specific
And we can check, I don't think we have.
Yeah.
I mean, what they do is they also do school districts, so, and when we hired them, we asked them, and they said they did regional school districts.
they
So
don't.
It's my understanding that this is who we hitched our wagon to. It's my understanding they that they know how to do school budgets. If that was a question, I would then ask the committee, why did we hire them? If that was a question back in November.
He said that he could do the regional district. He assured us to, but every kind of motion that I have seen or movement with him, I am wondering if he can or cannot. And
Okay.
I
That's a
just
good
want,
wondering.
Okay, that's a good question.
if he's,
Sure.
if
That's a good
he's
question.
doing formulas wrong along the way, that is going to affect how those numbers in that budget come out.
I would offer that we should not ask TJ if he's doing formulas wrong when he's not on the call to have that conversation. I think that's, I would wait for him to be there to be able to answer that, and so I would urge the committee to hold that question in abeyance until he is able to have that conversation with us.
But could Kim give us,
She did, we
specific?
have the specific
Yeah.
special ed.
Well, yes,
Right.
there's one of
But
them,
if
but
there
I
are
have a
other
lot
ones-
more along the
Right,
way, and that's
right.
why I have these questions. Because this may not be as bad as we think it is.
Well, that's what I'm sort of hoping too.
Me too.
Honestly, honestly, that's what I'm hoping.
But
that
I-
FY26 is not what we think.
Mhm.
I don't know.
But if Kim, if you have a list of things and you because you were involved and also on
I would
finance committee.
gladly give you a list of where my questions are.
Please.
Because this has gotten to a point where it's out of control and these budgets, either one of them cannot go to our towns.
No, we know
We know
that.
that.
We heard that loud and clear
But
tonight. Neither
then
one
we
of-
have to figure out how we fix them. If the person doesn't know the proper formulas, because that's not what he does.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so if you can forward a list
Mhm.
of your specific concerns, then, that's, we'll see.
Anything that moves us
Put some
ahead.
fresh eyes on it. I don't know. That's all we can do.
I mean, my major concern is the district, my kids, and staff.
Excuse me?
I said, my concern is the district, my children, everybody's children, and staff.
That's everyone's
Yeah.
concern.
It
I
is.
think
At the
that's
table
everybody's
and
concern.
No question.
Best interest of the students in this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I may not come across the best sometimes.
But we know where your heart is.
I think also it speaks to being way more organized with the finance committee being fully involved from the start of the budget process in October, November. I guess it starts in November currently.
It starts in December 1st when TJ was hired.
No, in the school committee handbook, it starts in November.
Well,
Yeah.
we
So,
didn't start anything budget to December 1st.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that this is where I think that's gonna be helpful, because then we can all start to say together, like, what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I think that's again, something that we need to really be sure to do. I know there's been conversation about starting the process in October, but the process does need to include everybody.
Right, right.
That'll be a good thing.
Okay, Bonnie?
I'm going to add to what Nancy said. You're gonna have a really new school committee. And I think having somebody come from MASC, specifically
Finance workshop.
a finance
Agreed.
workshop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually on this agenda to talk about.
It's on the list.
I meant for it to be under future agenda, but I must have been, I wasn't clear. And Michelle put it on to discuss tonight. So we can
Right.
talk about that and think about a timeline.
Hmm.
So it's okay, I put something in there already, so.
You're
Yeah.
so prescient in what you do.
I am just trying to think ahead, that's all.
There's a big one.
Right, now, and the timeline is really determined by MASC, because we did have a date of March 18th, but there was just no way, as we know. So that was given by.
So is there further discussion or comments or suggestions on the budget?
So are we then waiting for a line by line
Yeah.
budget
Yeah.
from Open Architects? We don't know when that will
I
come.
mean, as I said.
I know you
emailed in
just
between.
asked.
You emailed,
I think
yeah.
they'll be able to turn it around relatively.
Okay.
So do you think will the school committee want to get together, or do you want, we could post a finance committee meeting and then anybody else could come in
I
that
don't think
wanted
it's
to?
something we could pass and agree upon tonight to say, yes, let's put this forward.
I would agree a finance committee at
But
least.
we can have a meeting at least to hash and to look, we could try to do that. I mean, at this point, because it's late, we couldn't do it before Tuesday morning.
Right.
That would, just to give us space for Tuesday
Morning.
night.
Right.
If we want to adjust, if we find anything, we want to adjust something. I don't know what we can find in one meeting, but we can try. But to look at the line by line, and if it comes out earlier, to send it to us. We don't want to walk into a meeting and have it plopped. If we can,
Mhm.
Right.
I would like it printed out. So I assume it's going to be one of those giant sheet things, like what
Mhm.
you and I've been working from. It's going to look like that. And
And if
then
it can be
we pick
screenshot,
up
if it can be-
packets or deliver them or something. Bonnie.
And
Um,
it be
if-
shown as a screen, if it could be
Hold on,
shown
Nancy,
as
wait a
a,
minute, Bonnie.
If you go back to what we used to get, the line by line and all of it, and the way it was, maybe can he just plug it in to those sheets?
I'm not gonna speak for what Open Architects can do at 7:30.
Well, maybe you could show him.
I mean,
when-
I have asked for a line by line of FY '25 close and a line by line of FY '26 to date. I think if we're on a timeline, we're gonna need to accept what they present to us.
Mhm,
And I would say going forward, be very clear
Right.
about what we expect.
mhm.
Because to date, this was the first request last night to go line by line. And so I understand that there were concerns from teachers about that. I heard concerns from community members about that. But I want to be clear that my first request was last night at the finance
But
committee meeting.
I
So-
had brought it up to others previously, so.
I think a few of us
So-
had.
Yeah, that I wanted. It's only because that's how I work. I'm not a finance
It's
person.
totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna try to get a line by line out to everyone on school committee as quickly as we can.
Great.
And since we're talking about it, is there a time Tuesday morning that works? Do folks know their calendars? I mean, I'll clear my calendar.
I know I'm booked.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's just that's all I can do. I mean, we can
Right.
post it if we get, 3 people, we have enough, we'll hold the meeting, but
I'm available during school hours.
during school, okay, well, that's what I'm thinking,
I'm available
probably
I get you.
Wednesday,
9 or 10
but
o'clock in the morning, give us time to,
I have-
Monday to look at tomorrow or Monday weekend to peruse,
Mhm.
put our questions together. It's just we can't post a meeting so that we can have more than 2 people in the room, that we can't do it before Tuesday morning, that's all.
if you
Julie-
have any
Oh,
how's
Nancy, I'm
Wednesday?
sorry, let me hear, Nancy?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be involved if possible, and Tuesday will not work in the morning, because that's when I first work with the state lawyers, so, that, if there can be another time to go,
Okay.
that would be great. And also too,
Wednesday's
if there
no good?
could be possibly a way to screenshot it, not screenshot it, but to show it on Zoom, when we do meet.
I would think
'cause
so.
Sure.
I'll be able to look at it, but I won't be able to print it. All about me, you guys. I'm sorry. What can I tell you? But that'd be great.
All right, we'll see what we can do then. Why don't we ask,
Could we meet on Wednesday?
well, we can, but we will have voted on Tuesday night on
Yeah.
Oh.
something. Do you know what I mean?
Unless we change
Trying to
Tuesday,
Yeah.
Was
Good
that?
point.
unless we change Tuesday night.
Or, yeah, I guess it has to be how fast you can get us the info. But
That's a
didn't
good
Brian say he had on his computer some kind of line by line going on?
I have, but it's not, it includes notes that are not for public consumption because it includes the possible reductions that we're not making public. So I can get from Open Architects, and I have nothing for FY25 on my computer. I only have the workbook that includes the ads cuts that we're not making public at this point.
Yeah, so we can't do that. So
Mhm.
we'll have to get it from Open Architects. And I guess we don't know if they can, if they would wanna be able, if they could join us if we have questions of
Obviously,
that.
we would
I
try to
feel
do
like
that,
it's
right.
more of us rolling up our sleeves looking, but,
Mhm.
you know, and compiling all these
Mhm.
questions or saying, no, let's cut school committee budget, let's find all the lowest hanging fruit we can find, and then, okay, you're talking about 13, maybe it's 6, and maybe 3 of them are retirees, and maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know,
Well, how many people do you have who can come Tuesday? So Nancy can't, I can't.
and you can't.
I mean, I could do Tuesday or Wednesday.
I could do
can't warn for
Wednesday.
I
Monday.
might,
You
What's-
can't warn for Monday.
We don't have time to post for Monday,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it. Kim, did you say you could?
Yeah, I
come?
can.
You can come? Well, at least if we have 3, I don't know, Art, what your bus schedule is.
it depends on what time it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I was thinking like 10. 10 or something.
10, 10,
Yeah, and then
15.
if that could be sent to everybody so that we can have our input as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
we would
Nancy
send it
can
out to the
supply-
whole committee.
Maybe Nancy can
What
give
was that?
questions. Maybe you can give questions and send them to somebody.
Right, exactly,
Yeah, and we
That
may
sounds
have
great.
very similar questions too, it's very possible that we find that.
probably.
Okay. All right, so why don't we try to do that and we'll, hopefully we can get a line by line. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
10, we'll shoot for 10 Tuesday, stay tuned, okay. Any other comments for tonight on budget?
If we have suggestions, for that's something more than $7,000,
Send, please.
I mean, but we shouldn't be circulating it all over, so send it
Just
to
send it to me.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll pass
Alright.
it on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, if we cut, 7 or 8 $5,000 things, that's a para's salary. You know what I mean? So it may
Agreed.
seem little and it may seem a $500,000 off or whatever, but it's still a start to save somebody's job.
Yeah, that's right, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree, yeah.
I am also concerned, it's always been an issue because of where Monterey is located and politics and everything else in your wonderful town. But I think we have to look that we're the ones who really need to be speaking up and defending our district and making sure people understand we're gonna work this through. And I don't want to see us lose our district.
I understand.
Nobody does.
Well,
No, nobody does, Bonnie. I think we're all in
But
agreement
the
with that.
elephant in the room did come out today.
exactly.
Well, that elephant for her has been around for a long
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I don't know her that well personally.
Mhm.
She's somebody that was pro-merge for Monterey.
Okay,
Mhm. But I think we have to keep that in mind.
okay. Anything else, or I think we'll move on at this point and we'll try to put our collective heads together. And it'll be a public meeting, so people will be able to zoom in, be able to listen, or do whatever we do, we'll figure out how to get that posted. Bonnie, here is your agenda item, information session for new school committee members.
Yeah, after today, they're gonna be
They're gonna be running for the hills.
throngs coming.
I hope not.
No, throngs
I don't
coming to
think
us.
so.
I was part of The reason I was late, I was talking to Phyllis C. Joyce in Sheffield after she came back from a meeting. We have a number of dates to work around. And Michelle, I'm gonna really need your help with it, because Phyllis said a lot of things are now coming directly to you, not to the town. So in other words, so we avoid a problem that we had before, it's your deadlines in terms of when any changes to the ballot have to take. It's the middle of April that has to be in.
So by April 15th, I need to know what seats are gonna be empty.
Exactly.
Or, so, whose term expires and what seats are empty.
Right,
So
exactly.
I have to write a letter to the state, the Secretary of State, letting them know
Great.
by April 15th.
Okay, because we,
So, and then the nomination papers come to me.
right, but when is do you know the opening date for people to take out petitions?
No, I do not.
All right, can you find that out? Phyllis
We
did
need
not
that,
know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, we all need that because, well, any of
She-
us who are talking to people who are gonna replace us. That'd be great. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, so basically, we need to figure out the timeline
So-
of when they can take their nomination papers
So we
out.
want to have it, sort of coincide, having a workshop for all 5 towns, if anyone is interested.
Now, papers will be available in April. When we send them, we include booklets for the candidates and a memo for the district clerk. The
Right.
papers must be submitted to the local election officials for certification of signatures no later than 5 p.m. on Tuesday, July 21st, 2026.
That's,
And thereafter filed with the clerk of the regional school district no later than 5 p.m. on Tuesday, August 8th.
right.
The district clerk must notify the Secretary of the Commonwealth no later than 5 p.m. on Tuesday, August 25th. In order for the vacancy to appear on the ballot, General Laws, Chapter 71, Section 14E requires the district clerk shall not notify this office by April 15th.
All right, so Michelle, the only thing really that I need to know is, when can they start taking out petition papers? When, it just says they're
After she
sending it
gets
out in
them.
April,
All she
but
told
they-
me was nomination papers will be available in April.
in
When
April.
we send them, we include booklets for the candidates.
Right, I heard all that, so they don't give you a specific date.
No.
All right, so therefore, we should aim to do it sort of at the beginning sometime then.
I would think by the beginning of April, maybe the
Mhm.
week before school vacation or something. I mean, we need to look at the overall calendar and see what's going on.
All right, so let's
And then figure
figure,
that
let's
out.
figure that now that we have a ballpark, and then we can get it out right away and get out blurbs to all the towns and maybe get it in local papers, et cetera.
I was gonna say,
I
we'll
mean,
put
it's
it
not
in the,
impossible even to do it right after April vacation, because
I
I
think
mean,
that's
they have
better.
till July, right? I jotted down, they have till July 21st.
Right, to turn
you
it
said,
in.
To return the papers to the town clerk.
Right,
So that's the first real deadline. So it's
right, but
somewhere.
to try to get people interested, we
Oh,
could do
yeah.
it. I would like to
Yeah.
do it before we have town meetings, which would encourage these people
It will
also
be
to
in
be
the-
at, could you stop talking until I finish?
Nancy, just a minute, please.
I was gonna
So
answer
that
your
we
question.
would, so that, one, they could be there for town meetings, and that they might have their petitions started already. So let's look at the calendar. I mean, would you trust Julie and I to figure out a date?
Okay, I'm gonna call on Nancy and then Carl. Nancy?
Yeah, that Bonnie actually, and everybody, that's gonna be part of that's gonna be a lot of the focus of the newsletter. About what it is to be a school committee member and, what the dates are. So that's why it'd be great to get all the dates, including the final due date, as it were, and so that we can explain how it works. So yeah, I think, Bonnie, that's gonna be a really important part of adding to what you're already talking about doing.
Nancy, what's your newsletter timeline?
Oh, the newsletter has to, it goes, we have to have it, but that's one of the things I'll talk about in a moment, but it has to be done early enough so that it's in the mailboxes, because it's the budget newsletter. It needs to be in the mailboxes before, several days before the Monterey meeting.
Last week
So
in
we
April.
have to, so
It has to be in
usually,
the
mailbox.
usually.
Monterey's the second this year.
So that
Right, I was gonna
newsletter
say,
would have-
usually we give it to Carrie, in sort of around mid-April, and then it goes out and gets mailed.
No, but what I'm
Right.
thinking is we'll have information in there, which will be a great follow-up to this meeting that Bonnie wants to have.
Right,
So
exactly.
you say, oh, this was held, but for more information, blah, blah, blah. and you can
I
figure
think
that
probably
out
we're just
before
gonna, rather than it was held, because we'll probably, it won't have been held by the time we're writing it, more just this is what's going on. Because I think that, who knows how many people are interested, it'll just be good to get more people interested.
Right, right. Okay. let me
And
go
also
Carl.
numbers.
Okay, thanks. Carl?
Did I hear Michelle say, this is a question for Michelle, did I hear Michelle say that those members of the committee whose term expires this November must indicate by, I think I heard April 15th, whether they are going to run again? No?
No, I think it may have been interpreted that way, but I wouldn't think you have
No, I have to list just the seats that are going to be
that are gonna,
Expired.
that are expired. So if your term is up,
terminating.
yeah, the ones where the terms are up.
Okay, well, I'm one of those people, but
Yes.
the date, the operative date for whether anybody whose term expires to indicate that they're running again is the date on which the submission of completed petitions must be filed.
That, yes,
Correct.
I agree, that makes sense, that
No,
July
that is what-
21st.
So that
Yes,
I, for example, and anybody else on the committee, Bonnie, and anybody else whose term expires this year, has until the end of the day or 5 p.m., whatever it is, on the July 21st to declare, so to speak.
yeah, to submit the
Okay,
papers.
so
and
if on July 22nd I haven't, it means I'm not running,
Pretty much.
unless
Or unless
it's,
you wanna be a write-in.
yeah, unless it's a write-in.
Unless it's a
correct.
write-in, right?
What-
There's
May,
always
may I
that.
clarify,
Bonnie?
this might help. No matter what, Michelle is going to list our seats as 4-year terms that are vacant.
That's right.
No matter what, anything that is up, Jim, I think you're up also,
And I think Amy's seat is up because she
And-
was appointed to fill.
right, and
the seat.
Amy's,
Miguel's
right.
up.
No, I don't think your seat.
Yeah,
Mine was only 2
he's
years.
only a
Yours is
2-year.
2
Nancy was the
years.
4-year. and
Miguel's
she's up.
28, Miguel's listed as 28.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, I thought you were the same as me, but,
Nancy's seat is up.
okay,
Okay.
we can figure that all out later.
Right.
But anyway,
So in other words, anybody who was appointed, they're appointed until the next election, which means if you were appointed by the convening committee, you're up and have to run for
Right.
your seat for
Right.
this coming, so that will be listed,
right,
all right?
that's right.
We've had this problem before. The other thing would be that if Art or Kim decide that they are not in October, decide that they're dropping off the school committee, there will be nothing for, we will not, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
the
know.
town has
But
to appoint somebody
the
versus.
town will have to appoint, but the ballot will not show those positions.
That's right,
We would have to inform people that that's a write-in.
right,
And this has happened to us before.
right.
And who knows what's happening with the other seat in Egremont?
I was gonna say, we might be able to get that on as a 2-year seat. That
No,
just
no, no,
occurred to
no.
me.
It's, everything Michelle has lets her know, because we're all supposed to be 4 years. 2 years are gone. They've been gone for years.
But if someone is resigned by a certain date, and it's
April
open,
15th.
April
yeah,
15th, right.
then I think there is a way to have a 2-year.
It depends when that position
It has to be by
ends.
April 15th, and then you can have a
Yeah, oh no, I
2-year.
realize when it ends, but I think Kyle
Because-
also was on the same cycle as me.
But I
So
was-
it's, Michelle
I was
has
2
the
years the
list.
first time around.
Okay, listen, we're getting off
Let's- we
topic
don't
of this
do it.
information,
Michelle has
so
the
we,
list.
that's something else we can sort out and bring forward.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, I think, we can have Bonnie, and I'm happy to collaborate with you, we can
We'll
look at
figure out
overall
what-
calendars and
Right,
figure out an
exactly.
April date to offer a
Mhm.
workshop.
Mhm.
It's just we don't have that date in front of us.
Okay, we could do it quickly, right.
I think it would be important to advertise that a 2-year commitment is available to potential committee board members. I think that's important.
Well, it isn't really
It isn't.
unless
It isn't?
you plan
Okay,
to
then
resign
I
in
would-
the middle, that's,
Mhm.
it's a
It's a- but it's
caveat,
not-
I
okay.
think we need to research.
And no,
If-
there are
if
no
it's
2
really not.
years.
Okay, then I'm.
They were
Yeah, they're
wiped
all
out.
4-year terms, it's just the timing of when somebody resigns may allow a 2-year
Okay.
filling of something. It's
Right.
part of the regional agreement stuff, which is one of the things we wanna try to fix.
Okay.
So, all right.
No, they're all,
Yeah.
they're all 4-year,
Good, thank you
and
for the
unless
clarification.
somebody, like dies in the middle and
Yeah.
they only had 2 years left,
Didn't that happen too?
they get appointed,
Yes.
until the next election.
That was me. I had a 1 year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll sort that out as long as the committee is okay with us moving forward and identifying a date without
Okay.
getting date approval, then I think by consensus, we agree we want
Right.
to do that. Okay, so, last thing under new business, because of, the uncertainty of Art and Kim's status, and on the fly at the last meeting, we were trying to, as we got to committee reports, we realized, oh, wait a minute, there's only 2 people, there's only, we knew where there could be potential vacancies. But there's some of these subcommittees that we need to revisit. Art and Kim are with us, thank you. And so, for example, on the finance committee, there's 6 people, well, 5 really, and then Bonnie noted she could be an alternate. So, 6 is too many, that's a quorum of the whole
I'm
full
off
board.
because Art and Kim are back.
Are back, okay, that is fine. What I'm actually not clear of is if 5 is too many. I know Miguel has really expressed interest in wanting to learn more about all of this. As a 9-person board, 5 feels like too many. But if it's of the full board, then the quorum is 6. So 5 would be okay, and we've had 5 on some other committees. So are we comfortable? Bonnie said she's gonna come off that list as that alternate, with leaving Miguel there, and I can confirm with Josh Coleman, our legal counsel, about that. But
We can look at.
is
it's
5
right,
too many? That is my biggest question right now.
Is because there are places where it says, you know this, Carl, when it's the full school committee to get the majority, so that's 10.
Right, if we're.
Is the question,
The question is,
what number represents a quorum of this school committee
not a,
as it sits?
not a quorum,
Yeah.
but a majority in a vote.
Majority.
A majority,
On a
It's
subcommittee.
clearly 5.
it's 5, because we have 9 people.
We have 9. That there is supposed to be 10 is a non-issue until there are 10.
Except, I'll just throw this out there to mull over, except in talking with Josh Coleman, that when we vote on the budget next week, we have to have 2/3 of the full committee, which means we have to
10.
have 7 votes for next week if we
7 or
adopt a budget.
6?
What's that?
7.
6 or 7?
7, because we have to have 2/3.
Of
And we
the
have to
full
have
school.
2/3 of 10, even though there's a vacancy. That's what he told me. So, I'm just that's why I'm hair splitting over this, the number of
Exactly.
people on these
That's why I
subcommittees.
asked you the question.
I think 5 is too many for working committees when we're a body of 9 right now. I think if we're a body of 10, 5 is fine, but I don't want us in trouble either.
All right, just, can you, in that case, the next, It's because I know there are some places where it says the full body, which means 10.
Yeah, and that's the adoption of the budget where it's 2/3 of the full body.
Is
Because I split hairs with Josh on this already.
There's an important distinction to be made. Robert's Rules of Order, which we generally adhere to, says that the number sitting on the committee is the number for which you determine quorums, 2/3, all of that. That's what Robert's Rules says. It's not what the Massachusetts general law says. There are sometimes different rules. And this school committee, do not strictly adhere in every instance to Robert's Rules. We, I think, have stated in policy or somewhere else that we will be, and this is a paraphrase, it's not a direct quote, that we are guided by Robert's Rules. Guided is not the same thing as controlled. Now I have another question.
Without an
I have a
answer to the
question too,
previous.
so you go
Okay,
first.
but my question is, and I don't know why I'm missing this, maybe I'm not missing it, but someone will tell me if I am. Why can't a subcommittee have a number of members greater than 4? Let's assume that 9 is the operative number here. That's the number we're working with. Why cannot a subcommittee have 5 members?
Somewhere in ethics and open meeting, I have this thing in my head that if we have 5 on a subcommittee, that's a quorum of the full committee.
It is, and what's wrong with that?
Because subcommittees can't operate that
Because
way.
you
What's
listed, you
Counts
listed,
for the whole committee.
No, that's not true. You mean,
I think it is, Carl. I mean, I heard it at MASC last fall.
what you're
Amongst other
saying
places.
is that let's take my committee, policy.
Yeah.
Let's say that there are 5 members and they vote on the policy handbook revisions. And there's a long list of policy matters. We have now, by voting on them, we have bound the entire committee. It certainly doesn't make sense.
No, I know it doesn't make sense.
Kim has an answer.
And that's, yeah, Kim.
So a quorum for us here is 6, correct?
Yeah.
So in our subcommittees, according to Mass, it says, as long as you do not have a quorum on a subcommittee, you are fine.
I agree with Kim. It
Just
says the
going
school
by
committee should not consist of a quorum of the full school committee.
Thank you.
This is
Right.
Mass.
Yeah.
So
it
5
should
is
not.
fine.
But 5 is
Five
a
is
quorum. 5 is
majority.
actually
Five is a
I,
quorum.
that's why I asked Carl, how many is a quorum of the subcommittee? Or the
The
full
sitting
committee?
committee, if the sitting committee is 9, the quorum is 5.
Yeah.
And that's my concern.
but the issue is because we are a full school committee of 10,
That's only
There are
for the
diff-
budget Josh pointed out.
it's more than just
Then
the
let's-
budget.
Then might I suggest
Yeah.
That we get the
follow
answer
up with
from
Josh
Josh,
and move
right.
along.
I actually
I
think we should
agree,
follow
yes.
up with MASC because I think they would probably know more than anybody.
I mean, I'll speak to
Either Liz
tomorrow
or
and see.
Glenn, because
Mhm.
if anybody knows those, that it's gonna be them.
Yeah, all right. So just moving forward, looking at this quickly, finance with Bonnie taken off, we're sitting at 5 people. We've got 4 on the ad hoc. We can sort that out later because really ad hoc, the buildings and grounds is a subset of finance. So technically, Miguel, I don't know how you feel, but I might add you to that because
Sure.
it's a subset.
Yeah.
And the other one that I saw was our superintendent eval, where we had people that wanted to do that, that we might have 6 there. So we'll revisit that, let me find out more. And Miguel, as you said to me, that if you took on chair of superintendent evaluation, you wanted to come off of policy. Is
Yes,
that still true? So we're gonna
Yes.
correct that.
because I would stay on community
Oh.
relations.
Yes, okay. And then the other side of the paper, I think there was no changes. Nancy went on executive review for minutes. Nancy, I don't know if you're there, since Art's still there, we're not down to 2 people. Do you still want to stay on that, or do you want to go off?
I'd like to stay,
Did you say stay?
I'd like to stay.
Stay, okay.
if I
What,
can.
So that's it.
executive minute review we're looking at?
Yeah, I was looking at the ad hoc, the executive minute review.
I'll get off of that.
Oh, okay. Well, then we still have 3. Well, that's what I mean. With the people in brackets were, we were concerned about not having enough. So Art, you'd like to go off that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And so I do think the backside's pretty straightforward. So, okay, we'll leave it with some of these as 5 and 6 for now, and we'll revisit if we have to do that. Okay, thank you very much.
Road.
Yikes. Yeah, unfinished business. Just participation in the rural and declining schools this week of action. Couldn't come at a worse week.
Right.
We'll say that. But on the other hand, I think as we think about rural aid in particular and the regional school transportation, we can blast out to everybody and their brother that we know, please call legislators and have them up both of those numbers. That's probably one of the biggest things that we can do. Fine?
I would say, given the fact they even haven't gotten in the legislature to the conference committee stage and all, I think we declare SB R.S.D's own week of action after we get through this, because I think then we could put out, this is what you could do to help us. And
I
it's,
think that's a great idea.
yeah, especially after listening to Marky today.
All right, then I think that
Brian,
that's.
you didn't, I know in all this you didn't have time to do that.
I'm
right?
sorry.
Okay,
But you will.
then,
I will,
then let's do that. So next on our unfinished, and I meant for it to be under future, but since it's there, finance workshop, it's not really unfinished business, except I think it's been thrown out now and then. I don't know about a timeline. Do we want to wait, get through this budget? I think
Let's
it
get
would
through it.
certainly behove, and what I heard was that, do we want to wait till fall after we have new school committee members?
Probably.
I mean, there is all of that, but we can talk to Liz and schedule things.
I think maybe, given what we heard from a few people, we should do it before and then maybe make sure the new people
And
get
after.
it after.
Yeah,
Because if you want to begin early enough,
right.
Might I share that, with all due respect to Mr. Vitaki, I used my phone and texted Liz LaFond. Happy Thursday. Can a subcommittee be a quorum of the school committee? We have 9. Can a subcommittee be 5? One word response, no.
Okay. I knew I heard
That's a
that.
great
Yes,
question.
I think they
And
do
it
different
also says it here under Mass Open Meeting Law. Size limitation, a subcommittee is legally defined as a small group consisting of fewer than a quorum of the overall parent body. For example, if a school committee has 7 members, a subcommittee can have a maximum of 3. The question that we will explore is, because we have 10 to be seated, 9 sitting, what is the number we know except for budget in terms of determining a quorum? But we'll follow up on that.
We'll follow up
Thank
on
you.
that.
thank you.
Okay. So is it the pleasure,
Julie.
shall I try to?
Julie, Carl had a question.
Oh, Carl, sorry.
Do you have a citation?
Sir, yes, I can send it to you.
The lawyer.
Okay,
Coming.
okay. Shall I talk to Liz and get a few dates and bring that back? And we could do that. We could do a workshop meeting. or
Like
something.
October,
What's that?
September or October.
Oh,
or the
I
end
was
of the-
thinking like April or May.
Oh, okay,
So that when
whenever,
we start
right,
the
right,
next year, that,
whenever.
I don't know, I'll talk to her about it.
And also, if you do it that time, it would also help with setting up the finance calendar.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of thinking, that
Good.
just,
Yep,
you
we
know,
agree.
we can
We
get,
all agree, right, right.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. So I will talk to Liz about that. All right, Finance Subcommittee, we've already addressed all of that. Nancy, do you have anything else on public relations or advocacy besides
I
what
do,
you
'cause
stated about the newsletter?
I do, because we need to meet.
Oh, you need to meet.
Yeah, and what I'd like to do, I just did a quick look. Sorry, I'm trying to eat with not anybody seeing me do it. I could send out an email to everybody tomorrow, but I'm thinking if we can meet sometime between like the 20th or 23rd or 24th of March, that will give us about 2.5 weeks to quickly write stuff up. Brian, this is the budget is you. And this is really the main focus of the letter. So anyway, I'll send an email out to you guys. Remember that we have to get it to Carrie. I'll have to find out what Carrie's deadlines are. And I apologize that we're getting to this so late in the usual run of the season, but family stuff has gotten in the way, and not much I can do about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Policy, Carl, do you have anything for us from policy? Do we need to revisit dates with Liz?
Well, I have a question,
Yes.
and then I have an answer to the status question. Miguel is listed as a member of the policy subcommittee, and then his name is crossed out. Isn't the crossing out incorrect? No?
No, because I was planning on joining the finance committee, and so I was asking if I do that, and chairing the superintendent committee.
It's fine. Either way, you can't. If you would like to remain a member, you can. If you don't want to,
I'll wait
that's
and
also.
see how things pan out with the total number,
Okay,
the anti-quorum.
either decision that you make is fine.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I'll-
follow. No, I did that to reflect what he told me about chairing the
Okay.
other committee.
Okay.
So just
But
to show the change.
it's in flux now until
That's
All
fine.
right.
we figure it
Yeah,
out.
it depends on if we can do the 4 or 5 on the committee, so we'll figure that out.
Okay. Liz has to now, in view of all the activity that's been going on in the last couple of weeks, has to review the dates that she says are available. And I told her that I would speak to her tomorrow
Okay,
about that. I just sent her a very short email or text message.
okay, very good, we'll get new dates on that. Bonnie, do you have anything from personnel and negotiations?
Just that Sarah and I have to figure out a time we're gonna finish up the minutes
Okay, very good.
so that
And-
it can go to the full subcommittee.
Okay, and Superintendent Miguel, I put you there, we were gonna try to have a meeting yesterday, and with all of this, everything else, we could not, so, up to you, and we'll figure out everybody that's on the committee, and I know you were thinking not next week, but the week after? Is
Correct.
better for
It's
you?
better for me, and I'll reach out to you, Bonnie, because I'd love to speak with you and get up to speed on everything before we
That's-
Okay.
That's a lot, everything.
some
We'll figure it
things
right.
get
Yeah.
up to speed on what's necessary.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and then executive minutes review, Carl?
Yeah. Michelle, you're here?
I'm here.
You sent me a list of the open executive session minutes that had not been approved or for release or not. And I can't find that email. Could you resend it to me?
Sure.
That's it, that's my status report.
Great, okay. Handbook, Nancy, I know we have not met, but I think we'll be planning another date, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I will just say yes.
Yes,
Right.
we'll do another day,
All
yes.
right, that was the only other thing.
And that's another one that I think I think this really needs to wait until,
Right, and I made a mental note here on the regional agreement review, because I passed over that on this
Yeah.
other committee, that Bonnie had offered to chair that, and I gratefully accepted that, so, you know.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yeah, we will, talk about how and when and where there
Mhm.
seems to be.
Well, the
many
first
things, but-
step is that everyone have a up-to-date copy. It's online, and review anything that they think we should look at in that regional review.
Right, and I'm pretty sure our brains won't wrap around that for a couple of weeks.
Yes, correct.
So we will come back to it, but we would like to
Mhm.
at least initiate something this spring. So we will do that.
Mhm.
Future agenda items, district-wide information session with open architects. We kind of did that with finance one time. I have a feeling maybe we will do something else with them. We'll see. Faculty and staff night, I don't really know what was envisioned with that. Is that something that should stay as a future agenda item?
Does anybody know what it was?
Well, that's
I
what I'm,
do.
that's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
think it was supposed to be put on there as communication between the staff and the school committee, because like today, somebody said, you know, ultimately, we're responsible and we need to hear them.
Okay.
But that's
But was
why,
it envisioned like an open
yeah,
session?
it's
or a
not about
meeting,
policy or
what was it?
nothing. It's not like they, you know, about rules and policy and stuff. It's nothing like we can do that. But
So-
it's, if,
A
you know,
discussion? Like
it's
a
discussion.
Right.
Oh, all right.
Like
So wait,
a
so we
coffee.
need to post a meeting for school
Well,
committee
no.
members to come to.
It would be nice if the school committee members came and listened to the staff.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out what was envisioned by that. I want to know if it's something we still want to do or how.
I don't think it would hurt.
I
don't think it would
agree.
hurt. All right, well, we'll see what we can post. Okay, school committee and
I
staff.
think my recollection about it too was that it was gonna be something where it was gonna be informal, that we would take advantage of Jonathan Doerr and his crew. You know,
Food.
just
I
have
was a
the-
little hard to hear.
Oh, I'm glad.
I said, my recollection is that it was gonna be it was gonna be sort of a general meet and greet and talk and have a chance to talk to one another.
Okay,
you know,
so not like a
informal.
formal sit-down discussion.
No, it was,
Right.
but my recollection, I could be totally off the mark, but my recollection was that it was definitely school committee and faculty staff, and that it was about, sort of a, just general schmooze.
Yeah, but it was also about being able to voice their concerns
Yeah.
too.
So
Right,
we might
exactly,
post a
but that-
meeting
but it
just
was
in case we
definitely-
decide
yeah,
to
no,
sit down.
definitely-
That's
definitely
what
was
I'm trying
that
to
too.
figure out, what to do with it. Okay.
But it
I
was-
got
it
a
was-
better idea now what was being thought. And then, looking at open meeting law and ethics, we can talk about that another time. So now we can go to our newly instituted public comment.
Hi, I'm Victoria Aldham. I'm a Sheffield resident and I wear many hats here in the district. I apologize in advance for the negative tone, but I would be remiss tonight if I didn't take the opportunity to share my comments. I stood in front of you all on November 20th of last year and I asked for clarity and transparency regarding the consulting agreement with Dr. Rick Levito, as well as to provide the school community with details on the terms of the open architect agreement. I did not receive those. I only received sound bites that TMS was the problem. I attended meetings last year where line item budgets were requested frequently and repeatedly, and those were not received. So forgive me, but I am having a really difficult time sitting through both of these meetings tonight and not hearing any accountability being taken for the role many of you played in rubber stamping the budget last year with lumped budget items and without a clear line item budget. I am additionally deeply concerned that the responsibility for this budget shortfall is falling and will continue to fall upon the shoulders of the dedicated educators who worked tirelessly to unite and request a reasonable salary increase in last year's negotiations. We're the people who work with the students every single day. I know this budget shortfall is deeply unpalatable to the towns, but it's entirely unfair that the negligence from last year has led us to this point. Thank you, each of you, truly, for what you're doing to try to ameliorate this issue. I just respectfully ask that you keep this in mind moving forward. Thank you.
Amy Murray again, 95 Salisbury Road. First of all, I would like to thank the committee for hearing my first comments and understanding that us also spending 3 hours after teaching and putting in the time to be part of this process, to be able to speak about after hearing the discussion is important, and I appreciate you recognizing that comment and making an adjustment to the agenda. I had heard many people call tonight echoing the line-by-line budget items. My concern is that past leaders of the school committee who have put forth budgets in the past did not have those same things when I asked for line-by-lines last year. I do not know when this body went from line-by-line to buckets. I can't pinpoint the year, but I certainly remember the large papers. I just looked while we were at this meeting, and you can look. Again, I am not advocating for a merger with Berkshire Hills. I'm a graduate from here. My 3 children went here. I live a mile down the road. My parents retired from here. I am here because I love this school and I work very hard every day. So me being an advocate with a strong voice, I do not argue and work against this district. I'm the first one to roll up my sleeves and work along with you. I don't advocate the rest of us not seeing a line-by-line budget item. In the air of transparency, there used to be a column for notes, and it would give an explanation as to why it was increasing or decreasing, and I'm pretty sure we can all interpret notes at this point. I will also say that if you go on to the computer and you look at the Berkshire Hills website, you can see their proposal, which is approximately 496 pages for next year's budget. And yes, it starts very similar to the small packet that we got with buckets, but the buckets are labeled differently. They're labeled with salary and benefits and things that are clear. It goes on to divvy up their proposed budget by school, by line item, by grade. You can see in exact specificity. I'm not saying we duplicate their process, but I am asking how they are able to do it. And for 2 years that I've been asking, we haven't. And other people have asked, you can literally go on and see exactly how much they're spending on travel, how much third grade salaries are, how much they're spending in science. It is more than a 400-page document from a district up the road, and it is doable. So if that is the template that you would like to adopt, because this is ultimately on you, as I said earlier, but you need to look at what other people close by are putting out and why there's frustration on our end. I am also going to say I'm going to really encourage that this process, and I've heard it start earlier, it used to start in the fall. We were asked in October for what we wanted for classroom budgets and what we were looking for in departments, because I was the math department head. And those meetings did not happen individually in secret in the superintendent's office. They happened here around a big table with everyone together. So when I was asking for increases in one department, I could hear what colleagues on the other side of the building were asking for. So if I really thought mine needed to increase, but it was between me and high schoolers getting math textbooks, I understood why my 3rd grade classroom might not have received extra money to buy literature that I could make do without when they had to pass an MCAS or they were without materials. And then we could all understand collectively why some things had to go down from our request. I'm going to request that that kind of process go back in place. More information is better, especially based on where we are. And given what can be put out online, Bonnie, respectfully, I want to see what I can see from another district. I want to see it for the one that I've given my life to work at, where I trusted my kids to go, where I graduated from, where I'm not going to be somebody who has early retirement. I'm too young. I'm going to be here for a while. I want to be able to see, and I will have more faith in advocating for people to stay and return to our district when I can see what's happening up the road with the budget in my own district. So thank you, but some changes need to happen.
Is there anybody else? Oh, I do see.
Did we vote on Zoom?
Marie, yeah, no,
We didn't vote on Zoom.
We didn't vote to take public comment on Zoom tonight, Marie. Feel free to give me a call and share if you would like. All right, so we did not do that tonight. Anything else? We are not having executive session. Don't need to do that. Carl.
Oh, yes.
How about it?
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Nancy?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Can't even say the names, I'm so
Yes.
tired.
Yes.
Carl, Julie, yes, all right, we're good. Thank you all for coming, very long,
Recording
hard
stopped.
meeting.